It's 19 minutes to 8. Good morning to you.
Your station, your voice.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
This is a massive worry to me, and I keep putting it to the back of my mind, saying I'm going to have to sort this, I'm going to have to sort it, but I never get round to it. And do you know what? I should. For many parents and grandparents, the content of what children can see while they're online is becoming an ever-increasing worry. It seems with good reason, too. A survey commissioned by the BBC has found almost 1 in 5 kids who use tablets and smartphones, they've been upset by something they've seen on their phone or on their tablet, and nearly half were worried by sexual content. They don't call it sexual content, that's what we call it, but children, they say rude things. I've seen rude things, but with the internet now, well, it's more and more in our lives every single day, whether we like it or not. What can we actually do? Let's talk to Dave Thackeray. He's a social media expert and joins me on the line now. It is a worry, this, Dave, isn't it? Hi, Dave, you there? I think Dave may have disappeared. Let's see if we can, we'll get a thumbs up and see if we can grab Dave there. And with more kids actually getting tablets for Christmas as well, they permanently got them in their hands. It's not as though you need to go and turn the computer on, wait till it boots up and do it. They're carrying their own PCs around with them. Hiya, Dave. I was just saying, Dave, it's a real worry now with the amount of content that kids can see online at different times of the day. It's just there all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tony, and it's very pervasive in all of our lives. There is no real climb back from that. You know, the truck has started to move now. There are applications out there. There are things that we can put on our smartphones, put on our tablets. But, you know, I think there is a lot of hysterical behaviour about this. And kids have always been able to see things. It doesn't matter whether it's been online. They've been able to pass magazines around in the playground, and I think ultimately we've always got problems out there for kids have got to kind of find for themselves. Kids are fundamentally creative people. You know, there's a lot of peer pressure, great deal of experimentation out there, but as parents and as influencers, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a confidant, you know, Tony, I think a lot of this has got to do with communication and, more importantly, listening, because unless we know what the kids are facing there or exposing themselves to, then we can never really get to the bottom of helping them out. And I think this almost transcends technology. Technology is a great enabler. It does some fabulous things in our lives, but ultimately, yeah, it does expose us to challenges and problems. But as any adult out there should know, the kids will find their own way. There is a natural path to growing up, you know, whether you're a troublesome teen or whether you're just a very young child who's experiencing an iPad or an iPhone for the first time. Guidance goes a long way to helping these children to make the right decisions. And you know better than I do, Tony, that as soon as kids get their hands on computers, they're going to hack their way around any application that we could recommend.
Well, yeah, you're right in that respect. So a lot of it is to do with education as well. But what about the internet companies? I know the mobile phone companies go to great lengths to try and block as much sexual and upsetting content as they can, but there's only so much that they can actually do. So are we talking about maybe sitting the kids down, talking to them and saying, if you do see rude things on the internet, and you may do, you know, this is the situation, try not to let it upset you, etc., etc.?
The internet's got so large now, so voluminous, that unfortunately, if you do spot something, there are no real clear paths to resolution. So reporting it is a very good thing. There are, as I mentioned earlier, there are ways that we can filter content so that the kids will only see stuff that we want them to see. Page Clean is a great example of something that you can put on these Apple devices that effectively nannies the content that comes from the outside world onto the devices. But the trouble being, whenever these kids are out, they're never going to be chained to a desktop. You cannot control them until mind control comes in. We cannot change the internet. We cannot change the way people see it. But they're always going to be out there in the playground with their friends. They're going to be doing things that you can never truly govern over. So think of this as the moral code. And I hate to get overly serious about this, but on a day-to-day basis, parents can check in with their kids, do more to actually help them to understand that they've got a support mechanism at home. Teachers the same at school, so that it becomes less and less about what they see and more about the kids understanding what's right and wrong, knowing that they've got somebody to talk to. and ultimately being a happier internet consumer of the future. Last thing we want to do is remove the internet from our life, because it is a fantastic facilitator when it's used correctly.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it isn't going away. It's part of our lives now. But why is it so difficult to block inappropriate content, though, Dave? I mean, I get my internet from Mr. Branson, and I would like Mr. Branson to filter all that out before it gets to my house. But there seems to be blocks in the way to stop this happening.
It's user behaviour and user ability, and internet service providers, you're absolutely right, have taken steps to prevent people from seeing stuff. It's all about filtering the content. But unfortunately, as I know from my dad, he can barely access the internet, and when he does, he wouldn't know the right buttons to click to get to the right pages. The problem is that children and adults probably play in the same playground when it comes to the internet, especially if they're at home. And so if an internet service provider blocks something for one computer, chances are the user will not know whether it's blocked it for the kid or whether it's blocked it for the adult in that relationship. And ultimately, internet service providers have got a lot of flack from users saying, hang on a sec, I can't get onto this page now because the right intent has been made. But unfortunately, it comes down to user education, Tony, and until we can get it right in the user's mind, then there's going to be flack from both sides. As I said, the thing that we need to get into, drill into kids' minds, is it's right to do certain things. It's right to talk to your peers. It's right to go on Snapchat and Instagram if you want to share pictures. But you have got to take care of yourself out there. And unfortunately, kids have got to grow up, Tony. But the fact of the matter is, people are putting measures in place. But it will never be enough if the parents and the teachers are not supporting the children to understand what's right and wrong for them.
Dave, we're out of time. Thank you very much indeed for your time there. There's Dave Thackeray. He's regular on our programme. He's our techie guy, and no doubt we'll speak to him in the future as well. But your thoughts on any of our stories today, very welcome. 0151 709 9333. 12 minutes away. The head